We're going to talk about undos in Blender. Like most other software, there's under edit, there's undo and redo. And undo is kind of common in a lot of softwares, is either Control Z or Command Z. Redo can vary. Sometimes it's Shift Control Z or Control Y. It depends. Some of them is a combination, like Control E first and Control Z to redo. So what does undo? What does it do? Well, if you do a couple of operation or commands, such as, let's say, go add a circle, move, then I add, say, a cylinder, and move that there. Then let's say add Suzanne the monkey, move it here. If I go and do edit undo, it will undo the last command where I move the monkey. If I do undo, it will undo the last command of adding the monkey Suzanne. If I do undo again, it will undo moving the cylinder, undo adding it. Adding the cylinder will be undo. You could also press Control Z to undo. That's moving the circle, undo to creating the circle, and you're back pretty much near the beginning. Now notice undo does not undo your 3D viewport navigation. So me moving it like this or changing views like that, that's not saved in the undo stack. And I know that could be some issues in some software. Having a camera, on the other hand, and moving it, that is part of the undo stack. So if I move this around and then press Control Z, the camera will be, the movement of it, the transformation of it, since it has transformations, location, rotation, and scale, it will be you could have undo on those. So if I were to pull this out, and for this view, if I press 0, this is looking through the camera. And in this viewport, I'm moving the camera around. If I press Control Z, you'll see that it will be undone. You have an undo stack for the camera. Another thing about the undo stack, well, I'll just pull this and close it. So remember, if you pull out in a corner here, you could pull the corner, and if you go over the border, it will merge it. The other way, of course, you could right click and see join areas and then choose with the arrow from the cursor which direction you want to merge. Now to go back, and you could basically change the undo steps, or how many commands that are saved. So if you go to edit, preferences, and under preferences, if you go into system, you'll see you have under memory and limits, undo steps. By default, it's 32. You could change it to a higher number. Some software, 50 is like their default, or you could change it to a lower number. Remember, the undo steps takes up memory, so it really depends on your system resources. If you have a system that is not as powerful, you might want to lower it. If you have a powerful system, you might want to raise it up so you have more undo steps in your stack. And one other note, I'll keep that as it is right now. One other note, the undo is only in your current active session. So if you save your file and close Blender and open it up again, or open a new file, the undo will not be saved in the file. So it's only what you've done in the viewport in your current session. Some software like ZBrush actually stores the undo history in the file. You have the option to do so, but it would make the file really, really huge, at least for now. So in Blender right now, that option is not available. So once you close the software or save it, you lose it. And of course, to redo, as mentioned earlier, if I were to, let's say, move this, Control Z, undo, Control Shift Z, redo what you just undid in the stack. Also, the other way to do it is through the menu. So if I add things like cylinder and move it, add the monkey and move it. If I do edit undo in the menu, edit undo edit undo. So it undid the movement of the monkey, undid the creation of the monkey, undid the movement of the cylinder. And to redo it, you could do edit redo through the menu, edit redo, edit redo.
Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.